Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly, the show where I give you guys the top 5 prog news headlines for the week, introduce you guys to some new prog singles, and give you updates on what's happening here on my channel on Nathan on Shuffle. So I do this every week, or at least as often as I'm able. I actually had to skip last week, but I try to do these shows regularly to keep people apprised of what's happening in the world of progressive rock, both classic bands and newer bands, new singles coming out, albums, touring news, all kinds of rumors and interesting factoids that I hope I can bring to your attention. And more just an excuse every week to just talk to you guys, talk to those who regularly view my channel, and give updates on what's going on. It's just a fun experience to talk to you guys and enjoy just being excited about what's coming up in the world of progressive rock. So today is July 11th, 2025. Like I mentioned, I wasn't able to do a show last week, so a little bit of a gap. So there'll be a couple of news items that actually probably would have been included in last week's show, but I want to make sure they're mentioned. The new releases throughout July are pretty sparse in my view. I just don't see a lot coming out that I'm super excited about or knowledgeable of. But please let me know in the comments if there's big albums that you've been excited about coming out recently. The ones on my radar from last week and this week. There's a great post-rock album called A Single Flower from the group We Lost the Sea, which came out on July 2nd. Really interesting, expansive piece of work. I know Rhyme Signatures, one of my favorite YouTubers, is really excited and talking highly of that one, so check out their review. Crown Lands, which I'll get into more news about them, released an EP called Ritual 1, more of like ambient, soundscapey kind of thing. I did want to mention, I wasn't expecting to talk about it, but there was some reissues from Happy the Man that I received, their first 2 albums. This is Great American Prog. This came out in the last week or so. So just kind of remastered, redone versions of their classic 2 releases there that I wanted to mention. Excited to dive into those. I'm thinking about doing a whole show themed around American prog rock, but we'll see. Tom Galgano from one of the main heads of the writing team, plays keyboards and does vocals, released a solo album that you can find on Bandcamp called Sleepwalking in a Strange Land. One of my favorite groups. Excited to dive into that release when I have time. And then today, Steve Hackett released his latest live album, The Lamb Stands Up Live, at the Royal Albert Hall. So that's definitely one to check out if you're a Steve Hackett fan. He released a single of Lily White Lilith from that concert, live in London 2024. That'll be on the Prog singles list if you want to get a little bit of a taste, but that live album's out and available in a variety of formats. You can order it from your Prog vendor of choice, so that should be interesting and exciting for you guys. The big news that I've heard circling around that I wanted to get to first in the show is the rumors about a new King Crimson album coming. It seems like Jocko Jasic, who I've been talking about a lot on the show, just released a solo record called Son of Glenn a couple weeks ago. He did an interview, and what he talked about in that interview has been circulating and making the rounds in the music community at large, because he talked about that they're working on a King Crimson studio album right now. He says, as we speak, we're doing a King Crimson studio album. When that will come out and what format or how, that's beyond my brief. But yeah, we've been doing it piecemeal. Then a couple months ago, management said, can we? So yeah, I've been recording that with a view of it coming out in some format at some point, but who knows when. So everyone got super jazzed knowing that King Crimson is working on a new album, and there was big headlines and people were excitedly talking about this. But I did see news today. King Crimson's manager, David Singleton, urged caution about this news, that there's a lot being worked on. There's a lot that isn't confirmed. So I wouldn't get too excited about an imminent new King Crimson studio album. This could be like years in the making. It could never even come to fruition. It's exciting that there's something being worked on, obviously, since there hasn't been a new King Crimson album in quite some time. But, David Singleton cautioned to kind of, keep your expectations at bay. Don't get too excited. Don't put the cart before the horse, so to speak, before there's any official news about it. Uh, so that was kind of a caution, maybe putting a little bit of a damper on the excitement. But it does seem like they are working towards some kinds of a new recording. Even David Singleton said there's indeed the seed of a new recording. And they're excited about the possibility of an album with 3 different drummers, which has been kind of the live configuration that the recent band has been doing. So that could be cool to hear on a studio recording. But they're just starting the recording process. They don't even know if this is going to see the light of day, what kind of format it's going to come out in, how it's going to exist out in the world. So there's possibilities, rumors, excitement that they're at least working on something in the King Crimson camp, but no confirmation on what type of thing that will be and when that will materialize, So should be exciting, whatever comes of it. Hopefully something comes of it. It sounds like they're already recording stuff in anticipation, but we'll see. There's no confirmed news that I can really point to. No release dates, no inklings of when it may come out. The second item of news relatedly is talking about Beat, the tribute act, or the group of legendary musicians playing this 80s era King Crimson music. This is Adrian Belew, Tony Levin, Steve Vai, and Danny Carey of Tool. All-star lineup of some of the biggest and most revered musicians in the music scene today, playing this classic King Crimson material, Beat live. And they're coming out with a live album coming out on InsideOutMusic. People are pretty excited. This is coming out on September 26th. They've released a taste of it with a performance of Neil and Jack and Me. That'll be on my Prog singles list as well. So just these big virtuoso musicians playing this really complex and intricate music, and a lot of people loved their tour and are super excited about the release. It's going to be released in a multitude of formats: a 3 LP set, a Blu-ray release accompanied by 2 CDs, and a 12-page photo booklet, and a limited collector's edition that contains the Blu-ray, 2 CDs, a bonus CD, and a 36-page art book. The track listing has just a smattering of some of their biggest songs from that 80s period: Crimson, Neurotica, Neil and Jack and Me, Heartbeat, Sartori and Tangier, Model Man, Dig Me, Man with an Open Heart, Industry, Lark's Tongue and Aspic Part 3, Waiting Man, The Sheltering Sky, Sleepless, Frame by Frame, Elephant Talk, Three of a Perfect Pair, and Discipline, Red, Thilahun, Ginjit. Just an all-star lineup of great tracks from a great lineup of musicians, and that should be really fun to check out. So that's available for pre-order and should be a notable release for this year for sure. Then number 3, Canadian prog rock duo Crown Lands signs a worldwide deal with InsideOutMusic. I love Crown Lands. I loved their previous release, which I thought was really brilliant. It was from 2023, called Fearless. It was on my year-end list of some of my favorite records, certainly. And they've come out with a new EP to kind of signal this news, but it's different than their previous album. It's a little bit of a ambient diversion, a soundscape that kind of gives you an idea of the world that they're going to be inhabiting in their upcoming full-length studio album. So this seems like it's the first in a pair of EPs that'll be coming out this year. And so temper your expectations. It's definitely not like the very Rush-like album that their previous one was, which they're very much compared to, kind of classic Rush, for good reason. They definitely have that sound. And I expect that their next studio album will be in that style vein, but this new EP is very much more just ambient and atmospheric and washes over you and is more just kind of a soundscape type feel, without any vocals and without any real like rock instrumentation really. But it's a good scene setter for what's to come. It's basically showcasing the landscape of the world that their new album will inhabit. So that's going to be interesting. But really excited that they're on Inside Out. I think it's well deserved. They're incredible musicians these two guys who do all this music, make all this sound, just the two of them, Cody Bowles and Kevin Kamau. Excellent duo, and excited to see what they come up with in the near future. So keep your eye on that. Then I wanted to mention briefly two kind of quick hit news items. Supertramp's Crime of the Century and Crisis What Crisis are getting 50th anniversary releases. This is coming on August 29th, released on vinyl through UMC. The band themselves, along with co-producer Ken Scott, have overseen the new reissues, which have been remastered at half speed by Miles Scholl at Abbey Road Studios. So these are classic records. I just talked about Crime of the Century, a little plug of my series that I'm doing on the channel of the best prog albums of all time. This Crime of the Century was focused on that on the previous episode that I've done. Brilliant record. You could kind of argue if it's truly progressive rock or more just kind of an art rock style album. Definitely skirts those lines, but has enough proggy tendencies to really excite and be the prog fans, and it be a very enjoyable release. Crisis What Crisis came out a year after Crime of the Century, and continued in a similar vein. So just want to put that out there. If you're interested in picking up those reissues, it should be really good versions of those albums, I would imagine. And then finally, Rick Wakeman postpones his upcoming U.S. tour to have surgery. He announced his postponement of the Strictly Wakeman U.S. tour to correct an unspecified but ongoing health issue. So the statement officially is, it is with great regret that Rick Wakeman has to postpone his Strictly Wakeman tour of the U.S. with Haley Sanderson in July, as his doctors have recommended that he undergo surgery this month to correct an ongoing health issue. Please hold on to your tickets, as they will be valid for any rescheduled dates. And when further information about the shows is available, ticket holders will be informed. So that's interesting, I thought. Hopefully he recovers well from whatever surgery will be taking place and be able to continue on with his tour just fine. He did an incredible job when I saw him on Cruise to the Edge. Just an incredible solo show, playing stuff from his solo material, from Yes material, and just everything in between, and kind of giving comedic commentary between songs. It was fantastic. So I'm sure it's a not miss concert once he's able to get back on the road and do what he does best. So Wakeman's The Return of the Cape Crusader Part 2 tour kicks off in Aylesbury, Waterside on October 12th and runs through to Bristol Beacon on October 29th, including a date at London's prestigious Palladium on October 28th. Performing his popular solo albums, The Six Wives of Henry VIII and The Myths and Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So look forward to those tours, where he'll hopefully be in good shape to be able to continue there. Some other singles on my prog singles list. I mentioned the Steve Hackett track. I put a track from that Crown Lands EP if you want to feel for the more ambient nature of that one. Of course, that Beat single that... let's see, Neil and Jack and Me from their live upcoming release. Also on my list, Green Carnation have a track called In Your Paradise. This is from their upcoming studio album called A Dark Poem Part 1, The Shores of Melancholia, coming out through Seasons of Mist on September 5th. First release in an ambitious trilogy of album releases that was inspired by Arthur Rimbaud's dreamy ode to Shakespeare's Ophelia. So Green Carnation are somewhat of a heavier band, but definitely well-loved in the prog community, a prog metal group that should have a great success with this upcoming release, and you can hear a taste of it within Your Paradise. So I believe that album is available for pre-order as well if you're interested. ILO has a new single called Replica. This is a band, their new album Legacy is coming out August 29th. This is their second record. They were recently signed to K-Scope, and they're more of a heavy metal, not heavy metal, but progressive metal act, and this is a heavier track. And it should be a cool release. I'm really looking forward to ILO for their upcoming release. And then we have Darwin and the track Loophole. which is coming out on their newly announced upcoming album Distorted Mirror, coming out September 26th. And this is kind of a super group of sorts that has Simon Phillips on drum, Matt Bessonette on vocals, Mohini Day on bass, Greg Howe on guitars, and Jarek Sherinian on keyboards, along with, I believe, some other guest musicians. But I've liked what I've heard so far from them. Kind of a great melodic rock with prog leanings, and definitely well worth checking out. And I also want to mention Discipline had a single come out called When Night Calls Today. Detroit progressive rock veterans releasing their new album Breadcrumbs on the progrock.com Essentials label on August 1st. So this is the first kind of taste of that. A really cool record. I'll hopefully be talking about it on the channel coming up shortly, talking about a review. So that should be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's a great track. And Matthew Parmenter talks about this album representing some of their most ambitious compositions. And they're excited because it's been a little bit of time since their previous album, Captives of the Wine Dark Sea, which came out in 2017. So exciting to see what's up their sleeves on this upcoming record. And that's it for the news items for today. On the channel itself, I've been pretty excited about some of the late shows that I've been doing lately, especially the series of the best prog albums of all time. I've done 2 episodes so far. I'm doing 5 albums at a time. It's a list of 25 best albums. So I've done an episode for 25 through 21, plus some honorable mentions, and then 20 through 16. And this upcoming Sunday will be the next set, 15 to 11. And I basically took Prog Archive's list, their top prog albums of all time list that they have on their site, filtered it so it's just 1 album per artist, so I can include more artists and more genres in my list, and then kind of ranked it according to my own personal preference, and giving some extra weight to albums that I think are just important in the genre. So it crafted a pretty interesting list, I think, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Please check out those shows. They've been doing really well for the channel so far, so I'm really excited. I also did a lot of content for new albums, doing a quarterly roundup of 20 reviews of albums I haven't mentioned yet on the channel. So if you're looking for some new prog recommendations, there's a lot there to unpack. I tried to do it pretty briefly, so it's like a 20-minute episode, but I talked through about 20 different albums over the course of it. And I did a show about my favorite prog albums of the year so far, which was a lot of fun to put together. My 20 favorites in no particular order, in alphabetical order rather than ranking order, as I'm still determining what the ranking should be for kind of my upcoming year-end list. So, yeah, going to continue on with that series, Best Prog Albums of All Time series, continuing this Sunday and the subsequent next couple Sundays as well. That should be taking course throughout July when new releases are a little bit light from my perspective. So you won't be seeing as many new album reviews in the next few weeks, but they'll be trickling in starting more so in like August and moving forward from there. So gonna be some shows. I've filmed some things with Jana. I know a lot of people are looking for new content with Jana. It's been a little bit of time. So we did a unique new concept that I'm hoping we'll be able to unveil this week. Kind of a unique way to rank albums between the two of us. So I'll leave it at that for now and let you guys discover it when it comes out. So that's what I have for the channel. I'm really excited about this content, about what's coming out. Give me feedback. Let me know if you're enjoying the channel right now. I've seen a good amount of growth in terms of subscribers, and I'm kind of hoping by my 40th birthday in August that I could be at that 5,000 threshold. That's kind of the goal that I have. We're getting very close to 5,000 subscribers on the channel, which I'm really excited about. So thank you guys for joining me for this episode, and hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves, whatever prog you're listening to, whatever else is going on this weekend. I hope you have a great time, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in a future episode. Bye everybody, enjoy the music.